Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome in. I'm here to do a reading for Divine Masculine, the energy of the full moon eclipse in Pisces. Oh, gosh, isn't it an intense energy? I'm sure you guys feel it. I'm going to do an AstroTarology intro, of course, like I always do around the moon cycles, and kind of a different version of a guided music message. I'll explain when I get into that. If you want to skip over the intro, I'll put a timestamp in the description box below. It is pretty interesting, though. Okay, first of all, when I was looking at the energy of this full moon eclipse in Pisces, already intense enough in itself, and it's tied in, of course, to the North and South node activation always with eclipses. When I was looking at all of the supportive astrology, and I touched on that before, there's so much Neptunian energy. In fact, a couple of days ago, we had Saturn, the planet of restrictions and difficult lessons learned and time. It's the father energy. You guys hear me say it all the time. We just had the planet Saturn retrograde back into Pisces 2 days ago, a couple of days ahead of this full moon eclipse. Very interesting for many reasons. I went into that in the Divine Feminine video, so I won't here. But so that's happening. We also have Neptune itself heading back towards Pisces. And all of that means that it's sitting in the last degree of Pisces, which is the last degree of the zodiac, which brings about the new beginning and the change and the cardinal creator brave energy of Aries. Those planets are going to move back into Aries at the beginning of next year. But right now, with this eclipse, there's still a releasing of a lot of past energy, especially as it has to do with our self-perception. When you think about Pisces, you can think about it in the major arcana as the hanged man. It is a literal flip in your perception, not just of how you thought your own world worked and what you understood and the structures you were adhering to, but within your own self-perception, your own self-limiting behaviors and thoughts and where those came from. Yes, it is very intense. And before I go any further, the message is incredibly intense. So if you are in a particularly sensitive mood, and I wouldn't be surprised with all of this water energy, Pisces energy around, then do come back to the reading at another time or skip it all together. It's up to you, whatever you do with this information, but this is how it is going. Anyways, the final degree of Pisces is the degree of dissolution. So when you think about what that means, you've spent the entire experience of the zodiacal progress building your sense of self, your ego. And now that's based on every experience you go through, including childhood, right in the very beginning, incidentally, Aries, all the way around to Pisces. And then is the dissolution, the sense of where am I in all of this? What is my true perception? We can deal with that energetically as well, because Pisces is the most intuitive energy in the zodiac. All three water signs are, but in different ways. Cancer is the empath, Scorpio is the psychic. Pisces is the intuitive. It's an energy sense. You wear it like a coat. It's the last house of the zodiac. It's the culmination of all of the emotional experience so far, right? And then comes the shedding of it so that you can begin anew. At 29 degrees of Pisces, especially with Saturn involved, that's kind of a scary process because there can be a need to, or a feeling of wanting to retreat into the known or the uncomfortable zones. Again, we're dealing with, the known or the comfortable. When we're being asked to let go of everything that is comfortable and everything that we perceive as being the reality of ourselves and who we are. That's definitely a shedding of this going on, especially again, because we're moving towards the brand new beginning in so many ways next year, when all of these move into Aries, 0 degrees of Aries, which is the creator degree. Now, we've mentioned that Saturn is the father energy, and we can deal with that in a larger sense. We can deal with that as the patriarchy, which does set the way that we visualize things, whether we like that or not. We can deal with that as father, as early childhood, as our own inner father or masculine, however that's dealt with. Whatever that self-limiting belief has been that's been built up in the ego over time, now is the dissolution of it. Because as I always say, 0 degrees of Aries is the superhero degree. And not only can you not carry all of that with you when you're creating your new vision, you're not even going to be able to cast the vision, because 29 degrees of Pisces means 29 degrees of Neptune, the most watery planet. Said it before, you can't wrap logic around what you see there. That is the job of Pisces, opposite sign of Virgo. Surrounding this full moon eclipse in Pisces, we have 2 new moons in Virgo to do just that. The first new moon is the planting of the practical seed so that that new dream can start to take shape into reality in the new year. And over this process of the full moon eclipse comes the releasing of those self-perceptions, those where we're connected in all of that. Again, think of the Hanged Man. He removes his participation from the physical reality in order to see things a different way, in order to get a different perception of the world that he lives in, whether that's internal, external, your own self, however that accumulates. I'm going to read some lyrics from a song now. I'm not doing it as a guided music message because it is one of my all-time, well, probably my all-time favorite band. So, but when I was looking at the astrology, this song immediately came to mind to describe the feeling that many of us could be having right now. See, the problem is that when you already get an energetic sense of the vision to come, or your new self, your new reality and what's possible, Aries energy, Mars energy, fire energy, and then all of a sudden it retrogrades, the great slam down, and it gets scary. And it's like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Was I just about to be the fool? Aries energy. Was I just about to jump into the unknown? It's interesting that we're talking about the father as well, because also in the major arcana, the emperor, divine masculine, is Aries energy. And so very much it can be about, again, claiming your own autonomous self, separate from your history, separate from the weight of what you carry. I'm going to get into the lyrics. The song is called Seeing is Believing. So already we know seeing, Virgo energy, let's build it into what I can actually wrap my mind around. Then I can believe it. Right now I can't even see straight at 29 degrees of Pisces, especially since all I can see is through the filter of my past experience. And that can be what's happening right now. Okay. A little bit. I'm going to read 2 stanzas from the song again if you're not interested in that kind of thing. This is how the stars speak to me. They do through the arts, they do through the heart. And to me, poetry, music, and the arts speaks to the heart. It speaks the language of the high priestess, which is Pisces. So that which is hard to explain can only be done in certain ways, in my opinion. Anyway, there is a timestamp below. I'll jump into the lyrics. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. How many moon sets has our own darkness hid? Right there. Full moon eclipse in Pisces. How many moon sets has our own darkness hid? What perceptions? All my good friends, all of my dead ends, some to thank and some to forgive. Because again, you don't want to carry any of the weight of what you see right now into the new reality with you. Oh, my father, Saturn, I've got your fever. Now remember, that can be old belief systems, well, old structure. I'm holding my breath in your wishing well. This is just time's thirst, Saturn retrograde. This is just everything hurts, 29 degrees of Pisces. You feel your own breath arrest, and the rest is hard to tell. You can't see straight. It's going to lift your eyes up to all you haven't seen just yet. Think about that. Think about the hangman. It is in this moment, in the dissolution, in the shedding, that you see what you didn't even know was possible. Seven of Cups in the tarot is Pisces energy. How can you know what you never knew, what you couldn't have considered? Because your limitations of perception were in place. Anyway, I told you it was going to be deep, but for a reason. Next year, this year, 2025 is the number 9. That's the Hermit in the major arcana. Right? Opposite sign of Pisces, Virgo. We have that Hermit energy. Where am I? What is my soul song? What do I have to offer as well in my new self? That's part of that story too. Next year, 2026, we reduce it to the number 10. That's the Wheel of Fortune, destiny. And you guys know I call it the let go or be dragged card, right? So the work you do now sets that wheel in motion. And yeah, this is just time's first. It's up to you how that's going to go. And the choices you make now, that's what Saturn's all about. All right, let's get into the reading. It's still a general reading. It's for anybody, any sign. You'll know if you resonate with it, and you won't resonate with everything that I say. You're simply not meant to. It's a general reading. So apply it to your own life as it does, if it does, and leave the rest behind. Divine masculine energy exists in all of us and every living thing on earth. So it depends on how you embody that, whether it's internal or external. For the purposes of these readings, I externalize. All right. Whoa. Let's get into it. 29 degrees of the Hanged Man, as I'm going to call it right now, too, can be a feeling of a little bit of helplessness. How do I find my way out of this if I can't see my way out of this? And what Aries asks you is, how can you find your way out if you don't know what you want? Bring it into form. Virgo energy, right? And I always love these footsteps splashing through the puddles. There we have water, but there's stardust coming off her feet. This is walking the dream. It's putting it in place. And then we have big, bold vision. Look at this. And you know what I love about this card, big, bold vision? It's number 15. That's the Devil card in the major arcana. That's Saturn energy. Okay. But yeah, setting that big, bold vision. Also, I will say on the upside of Pisces energy, it's incredibly lucky energy. It's co-ruled by Jupiter because that was the original ruler. So right now we have Jupiter in Cancer. Huge time heart expansion energy. Huge time creative energy. Okay, good. I thought my mic was off. All right. Sirens. This is just everything hurts. Interesting. All right, let's go with a wisdom. Do I even have an elastic? It's so hot all of a sudden. The energy is just crazy. Okay, let's get a wisdom. Bring it into form as number 41. When you add them together, you get the Hierophant. That's about commitment. It's about our belief systems. We have this orphaned energy. Now, this can be what you're reflecting upon. You could be feeling like abandoned or alone right now. Oftentimes, when we're in situations involving a lot of change, we are alone, right? Because everything that we've known can't come with us with this big, bold vision. Now on the bottom, I see happy, happy. But also, this is number 5, this orphaned energy. And it's tied into bring it into form. So it can be, like I said, belief systems that are limiting that ability to do so. Okay. You'll be feeling quite afloat with that. What else do we have? One more. That's the big bold vision here. I like that. No, I said, what's the big bold vision? What it is. The new life. But again, if you bring into form, if you make this choice to embrace whatever your eyes have been lifted up to, you're going to have to walk away from things. And that can be a bit of an emotion. That can be the in-between. It's, again, we're dealing with Saturn, the devil, and the major arcana. It's better the devil you know than the one you don't, right? Because under big, bold vision, we have new life. Look at Aries energy. Okay. And on the bottom, the land of milk and honey. To all that you haven't seen just yet. And the problem with that and the land of milk and honey, again, if you have limiting beliefs or things that are holding you back, you can't even perceive that that's a possibility. But it is. And there it is. Oh, why am I putting that down there? I wanted my drink. All right. I'll do astrology at the end. We'll jump into the reading. New life is number 39. If I reduce that, that's number 12. That's the hanged man in the major arcana. And it's tied in here to big bold vision. To all that you haven't seen just yet. Ooh, okay. I mean, I'll go there. Full moons are a time of culmination and release, especially eclipses. So let's take a look at what the eclipse things out of our life, right? And we have this big bold vision in order to step into that new life. So what's being released? This is amazing. We have death and rebirth, Scorpio energy. So not only is 2025 the year of the hermit, in Chinese astrology, it's the year of the snake, which to me is always shedding the old skin, death and rebirth. It's time to bring it into form. Timer, stop. This thing is being so weird lately. Okay, it's time to bring it into form. It's time to step into the new life. And it is that final step, 29 degrees of Pisces, over the threshold. But look what's there. The 10 of Cups, the land of milk and honey. Again, it can seem, elsewhere in the song, he says, it's not a lot to hold, but this life is going to make you believe. It seems ethereal. The 10 of Cups does. But here comes the step, and it's time to bring it into form because you've seen it in that big, bold vision. Let's see you now. This is beautiful. We have the Page of Cups, bringing it into form indeed, but in a very new beginning kind of way. This is getting your toe wet in the possibility of that 10 of Cups. Now, for some of you, you could be reaching out to somebody. This could be you stepping into this big, bold vision creatively, taking the first tentative steps of getting your toe wet in the water. Again, we have all this water energy. Let me see what the energy you're stepping into. What are your next steps here towards this new life? This is beautiful. We have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is Scorpio energy. Now, this can have to do with your past, absolutely. This can have to do with childhood, with belief systems like that. But also the Six of Cups is a sense memory to me. So it can be returning to a time and a place in your life where you had a certain feeling that you want to step into. You remember it with the 10 of Cups. That can be the case with this new life, right? It's a restoration of belief, basically, with 6 of Cups. Could be somebody from your past. Could be a past life with all of this Neptune energy as well. Okay, let's see the energy surrounding you. Oh, isn't this amazing? We have the World. The World is the completion of a cycle. It's the last card before we get to the Fool. So whatever this is here, that you're at this big bold vision. Now, for some of you, this can be about putting it actually out into the world. And that is the first step of bringing it into form. For others of you, whatever this is that you're stepping into tentatively can be a completion of a cycle, especially since we also get the naked heart. The Naked Heart in this deck is a bonus card, and it lays between the World and the Fool. Fool is Aries energy. And again, what I say, you can't enter into it without that naked heart, the restoration of belief. But this can be you also taking your heart out into the world, engaging it in the new life, the new beginning, starting fresh. What's the challenge? There's the vision. The Ace of Wands is indeed a big, bold vision. It's very passionate energy. That's cardinal fire. That's what gets the Fool to take the leap of faith. So we do have the cultivating of this vision, but it needs to be brought into form. This is inspiration. It's passion. Now, again, the aces are only potential, so they need to be brought into form. This is about stepping into that passion. So it's appearing in a challenge, though, because we're not in Aries energy yet either, though. So when all of those planets move direct at the beginning of the year, that's maybe when the ace catches fire. But it's there. Okay. But also bringing it into form suggests, because an ace, again, it can be temporary. What's the potential outcome? Another ace. Oh, I do like this. Look, we have two aces. Now, with Virgo, we were talking about that with the two new moons in Virgo. We're dealing with the magician in tarot. He works with all four aces to create the new reality. We have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. And then the Eight of Wands. Passion, fire. There's the big, bold vision. And this is where time gets unstuck and things can move forward. For some of you, there could be travel with the world. There could be a lot of activity, a lot of actual moving around. It could be energetic. This, again, time getting unstuck. And that's kind of what the Six of Cups is too. It's coming in with new life. And Six of Cups is about the past. So it's almost like time getting unstuck. Interesting. And then the Ace of Wands. Okay. Or I mean the Ace of Cups, which is the beginning of this 10. Let's see the Eight of Wands. So remember I said maybe it's at the beginning of next year when that ace catches fire. In the potential outcome, we have fire there. The Eight of Cups. And on the bottom, I see the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is always historical. It's air energy. It's the mind. And what I said about releasing heartbreaking cycles from the past, entering into the world with a naked heart, a sense of trust. With the Eight of Cups, that is my emotional pilgrimage card. This is about having the courage, right, to go after that 10 of Cups, even if it breaks your heart. Even you got to leave it behind. That's what gets it unstuck. Three of Swords can be a self-limiting belief. One more. Oh, I like it. We have another 8. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Time to bring it into form. Virgo energy. Apply a practical structure, practical steps to what it is that you see here. And what you see is the 10 of Cups. So I know it requires you leaving behind certain things, for all of us. And again, can be childhood. One more. I'm going to get a card. What are you bringing into form with Eight of Wands? The Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Whatever it is that you've been cultivating here. Remember before we saw the Ace of Cups on the bottom? The Seven of Pentacles can just be a little bit of a pause, a reassessment, and then putting in more energy. And that can have to do with the vision that you're back here. Because we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles. bringing it into form. One more. Oh, I like that. Look what we have. We have the Three of Cups. That's union. That's bringing it into form. This is happiness. It can be collaboration. It can be finding like-minded people to work on this big, bold vision with. Like who sees it, who understands the life you're building, who feels it in their heart. On the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. I love it. That's the achievement of the big, bold vision. And yeah, and the sun. Strong Leo energy coming through. And I did get a card about travel for some of you that can be involved here. But in the middle of this Four of Wands is sunflowers. And I love sunflowers because they have seeds of possibility, planting the seed. The sun, the big, bold vision. And then we have the King of Wands, Aries or Leo energy once again, but Aries as well. The King of Wands is very creative, very passionate, very fiery, and very courageous. And there we have bringing it into form. And what you see, seeing is believing. Nice. Okay. Do we even need some clarifiers? This was very straightforward. Let's go to the lights here. And I totally should have brought an elastic. No. Okay. Let's see this death. The Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about a path unfolding. It is about having already grabbed hold of this Ace of Wands, and a further step needs to be made. Again, you can see it on the horizon. She's in the living room looking out at the horizon of the possibility, but she hasn't stepped into it yet. But this is still like, I can't believe the Ten of Cups. Like, I can't believe that. How can I step into it? Seeing it is believing it. Maybe you did see it. Page of Cups. On the bottom there, we had, look, death and rebirth. Page of Cups. Another 10 with the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. 7 of Pentacles over here, turning that vision, 10 of Cups, what you saw, the path, into a practical reality. The 10 of Pentacles, putting in the work. That's pretty cool. Okay. Oh no, look at this. Look who's hiding on the bottom. The Fool. Not taking the leap of faith quite yet. We have the Ace of Wands and the challenge. Let's see the 10 of Pentacles. Like, if I can see it, the 10 of Pentacles, then I can believe it. Then I can step into it. The 5 of Wands, there's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of fiery energy here. The 5 of Wands can be about, again, you stepping into the melee, engaging in the possibility of the energy. It can be about internal conflicts or external. People kind of getting into the mix. Okay. But in this case, it's like they're building, I don't know. Yeah, there's something in the blockage. Oh, turning it into Pentacles. Okay. So what's the 6 of Cups into what you're stepping into here? Here's the new life. We have the 9 of Pentacles, and then we have Orphan, right? And I said there's something getting in the way. Oh, my Father, I've got your fever. The 10 of Pentacles can be. It is the completion already, right? Before a new beginning. So it can be a sense of the familiar, a sense of what you already know and what's already stable. It can be that 5 of Wands is a dissonance. I can't see it, whereas I can see the 10 of Pentacles. Does that make sense? Because in the recent past, she's looking out the window. It could be something to do with that. Then we have the 9 of Pentacles, which can be about proceeding forward. We have orphaned energy. And that 3 of Swords. Let me see the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, 8 of Wands. That's what gets the energy unstuck. We go from that blockage of the 5 of Wands into the 8 of Wands. Naked heart in the world. A lot of fire here. Very strong Scorpio energy. Why is that standing out to me? Something's happening on October the 21st, and I can't think of it right now. But it has to do with, that's the first day of Scorpio season. Let me see, death and rebirth. Look what it is. And look what I'm talking about. Seeing is believing. Look at the crown chakra. What did you see? 10 of Cups. But this can also be about you hesitating, stepping into that new beginning. 4 of Swords is a time of rest and recovery, integration of that heartbreak from the past. Some of you can have to do with your family, limiting beliefs. Like 10 of Cups is pie in the sky. That's not how it is. If you can't see it, how can you believe it? The Hangman. Changes your perceptions, death and rebirth. What's the Ace of Wands in the challenge? Just courage. Temperance, interesting. Sag energy. Well, yeah, because what I said too, remember about the timing? When all of those planets move forward, then it's going to be time to ignite the vision. Temperance can be about knowing that it takes time to incorporate that new life and being patient with how you handle this energy right now. Because what in the song he says, this is just time's thirst. This is just everything hurts. I want out of here. But there's angelic guidance behind this. There's a spiritual incorporation happening before you can step into what you're doing. One more with temperance. The Ace of Wands, the 3 of Cups. The big bold vision at the end, we have the 3 of Cups. So what you require is the Ace of Wands, but this is still processing. The Hangman's here. That's your death and rebirth. That's your shift. Let's see. The 3 of Cups. We have a 3 of Cups here and here, and then we have the 6 of Cups and what you're stepping into. Ooh, I do like this. Look at, we have the Page of Wands. With the Ace and the challenge, the Page is the beginning. The Page grabs hold of the possibility. And I like how he's throwing it into the air bravely. Communication. But I think it's more like just starting to step. It's that first step. It'd be a good idea that comes to you as well. One more. Page of Wands. Ooh, we have the King of Wands on the bottom. Did we already see him? Aries, Leo, Sag. The King of the Jungle down here. And then I see the Queen of Swords. Okay, interesting. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Let's get one more with that Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is very, very smart. Has been through a lot in life. There's that 3 of Swords. So again, it can be that you've learned from what you've been through. The Page of Swords. 2 pages. One more. Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is Gemini energy. It's curiosity. It's looking at what's possible. right? It's a pretty fresh energy here. Let's get one more on the Page of Swords. What's the vision? The Fool. And then the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is the end of a very long and difficult cycle of learning. This is just everything hurts. It's got to end at some point. One more. And then the Knight of Cups. Then the Page becomes the Knight. Then you can take the next steps into further engagement. Now, the Knight of Cups is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This can be about an offer. It can be. Is developing this further. You'll notice we had the Ace to the Page. Look who's on the bottom, but the High Priestess. High Priestess. Having to trust your intuition. Do one more. And we'll get a couple of oracles. Oh no. Oh yes. It is the Emperor. There he is. Aries energy, divine masculine. Look at that. And then the Star, Aquarius energy. The Star comes after the Tower. It's the new hope. It's the new vision. It's what you wish for. And then we have the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so moving something into a practical application. It can be an idea, a seed that gets planted into what you want to create going forward. Okay, it's requiring that you leave something behind. A lot of things. Ten of Pentacles can be a lot of things. All that's familiar. What does he say? Going to lift your eyes up to all you haven't known just yet. How can you see it if you don't even perceive it? Let's have another one. No. Let's have another one. Temple Path, which always reminds me of Pisces energy. It's very spiritual. And we do see the Hierophant opening up the spread. That's number 12. It's the Hangman. Death and rebirth. It's on a different level. Yeah. We have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. It's the third eye. The High Priest. The 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel. Communication, belief in yourself. So the King of Wands is still on the bottom. You're coming in with the Page, but at least you're getting into it. I see the 4th chakra, which is the heart chakra on the bottom. Let's see. One more. Oh, I love it. We get victory. That's like the 6 of Wands. And then also on the bottom, we have the King of Cups. Moon eclipse in Pisces. It's definitely a vulnerable energy, but remember we have that naked heart there. The King of Cups doesn't easily go into the depths of his own heart. That's why he's the king. He takes it very seriously. It can be about seeing yourself a different way, yeah. We have carrying connections in the 2nd chakra. Believing in yourself. 3 of Cups is carrying connections. One more. And that can be what your new life is based on. Yeah, it can be. We have the King of Cups, and then we have walking away. And this is what I'm talking about. She's walking through the garden gates of her known into the bright possibility of the unknown. One more look back over the shoulder, and then the movement forward after you see yourself a different way. Carrying connections, and then Healer of the Ages. No, my father, I've got your fever. This is just everything hurts. Gotta walk away and step into your new life. Okay. What? A moon card? I love Death and Rebirth, the Naked Heart. That's incredible. What do we have, please? Last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. All my dead ends, all my old friends, some to thank and some to forget. Now I'm out of here. First quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. No. Full moon in Aries, cool your emotions. One more. Pretty hard to do with the 8 of Wands on the table, isn't it? Could be a lot of conflict around you. 5 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, right? That could be what your block is. Full moon in Leo, go wild. Always a wise idea. All right. Let's get some talisman. Let's close this reading off. Consider these to be like power words you can take away from the reading with you if they resonate, of course. I'm just spoiling. Okay. Protection. Okay. Defense. Look at the Scorpio energy. Destiny. One more. And then we have creativity, and I was speaking about that. If you have had blocks in your creative potential. Okay. Let's close. Did we do moon? Yes. We'll close with a couple of cards from the Lover's Oracle. These can come out as advice, so certainly take it only as it resonates, of course. Okay. What do we have? Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and it gives. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you've shared with those that you love by leaving behind the comfort zone. Okay, last one. You have this big, bold vision. Wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Yeah. 29 degrees of Pisces, indeed. You know what? I didn't get any astrology, and I can't do a reading without it. Let's close it. Couple of cards here. What do we have from the star codes for whoever needs this? That's pretty nice. Healer of the ages, letting go of the past story. The Three of Swords is what you've got to offer. It's what you've been through, the Hermit. Yeah, the 5th house, the house of passion and creativity. Leo's house. The Ascendant, which is where it's the 1st house, that's where Aries lives. So this is the rising, the new self. And then we have opposition or confrontation, 10 of Pentacles, and Chiron, healing. All right, that's what I have for you guys. I hope it resonated in some way. I know it was deep, but whatever, that's what you get around here. It's called Inward Eye. I love you guys very much. I'll see you soon. Namaste, my friends.